YouTube, how we doing? PPS here, pass the prop, ready to get back after it again. We got some basketball action to talk about with you today. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I've been a little bit under the weather recently, a little bit sick, so kind of lower volume in the betting. But yeah, overall pretty good. Excited to be back here with an interesting slate. It's been like this a lot recently where it almost feels like doing much before like 5 p.m. is hard with the NBA. You know, like everything is just kind of late news and all these injuries and stuff. The good news is like two teams, the Thunder and the Raptors, have just like ruled out their whole team already, which is kind of nice. You don't have to sit around and wait all day. So shout out to those guys. It makes the betting slate a little bit easier. And yeah, I think we got some good props today.
Yeah, should be fun. Obviously, I'm excited to take a look at this slate with you. Yeah, let's take a look. I know I took an L last week on Jokic. He had like 43, I think. So obviously he took the L for me. I have actually no idea how yours did because I had so much college basketball. I didn't even really look at the NBA slate that much after Jokic. So I think I only had like 2 or 3 NBA plays on the day with that. So you have to kind of let me know on these.
Yeah, I went 1-1. Thompson, unfortunately, did not get the job done. I think 7 rebounds, 1 assist, something like that. So I ended up just short right there on the assist front. Dennis Schroeder played like 28 fucking minutes and kind of killed me as that like secondary playmaker there. But yeah, just missed on Thompson right here. And then we got the parlay really easily. Both these guys hit in the first half. Yeah, it was Filipowski. My only concern is he had really good stats in that game against Washington, so you might come away thinking like he played really well. Dude, he kind of sucked. He missed a 3 and airballed a 3 early and then didn't take a single one. Almost half of his points were like offensive rebound putbacks. Like it was literally just like easy, Washington's not rebounding putbacks. So he did have a good game on paper. I would just be a little cautious going forward. Like today he's going to probably play the 4 with Kessler playing the 5. That's what it looks like the rumors are. So then he's gonna have to shoot a little bit more. Kessler will have those put back points, and I would be a little bit cautious with Filipowski. So just a little warning there. Got a nice and easy cash on this one, and both of them hit their main lines as well. But yeah, definitely would be a little bit careful moving forward.
Yeah, good looks. That's good info to look at. Like I said, I haven't really been looking too much at NBA. I've been here and there. I still got my bets in, but it's usually a little bit smaller. Than we have in the past with how much college basketball we have coming down the stretch. Already got bets going right now, right? So it's like it's tough because obviously want to make sure we get enough action here, but also sticking to some of those games that I like early today. So what game are you looking at here, Stu? We have 9 gamer, 9 gamer tonight. What game are you looking at where you want to kind of get some bets in, or just the one that you want to watch?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in Spurs Kings. We got De'Aaron Fox revenge. And I mean, he's one of those situations where it didn't really end that well, seemingly. If you read a lot of the reports, he wanted out of there. It seemed like he wanted Coach Brown to be extended. That's what I was reading just before the show. Well, other players on the team did not. And that firing and obviously getting a new coach led to even more division. So I'm curious. The biggest thing is like Fox is not healthy. And it's like, clear and it's been admitted. So it seems like we're on a weird countdown to like, why is he even playing right now if the team's tanking, and you see Castle shooting the ball like 18 times a game now, like they're mixing it up on that squad. But still, like Fox should crush today. There's no reason he wouldn't crush, but the injury stuff is still there and it still lingers. So I want to bet on De'Aaron Fox, but I haven't really decided if I'm going to do that yet, just because there's some clear, negative factors. But if he wants to get up for this game, he's going to destroy him. So that one's going to be like a, must watch for me. I'm very curious to see how that one goes.
Yeah, no, he's obviously I saw some stuff that didn't go great when they finished up there. Obviously a little bit of bad blood there towards the end, which is all right. I mean, it's basketball. It's a business still. So there's that one. I like that Denver-Phoenix game. I mean, at some point, this Phoenix team's got to turn up, right? I mean, at some point, don't you think so? Like, I think at this point, it's like you're right on the edge now. What are they like? They're like in the play-in right now. I just think Durant's too good, bro. I think Durant's too good to let this team fall too far. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I don't know, dude. It's gonna be tough with Jokic down there facing off against Nick Richards, but fuck, dude, I kind of like these like matchups for Durant, even though it might be Aaron Gordon. He didn't play last game. Kind of talked about that a little bit there, but yeah, I kind of like Durant tonight, bro. I just have a feeling this is going to be like one of those like massive games for him, where it's like it's Friday night, it's on TV, and they got to do something, and nobody else is doing it, right? Beal ain't doing it. Booker is putting up his numbers, but it's never in any games that actually are meaningful or any of those big spots. So I don't know. This just screams Durant about to put up an absolute fucking masterpiece tonight.
I can definitely see that. I'm also a big KD fan, and these kind of games, he does definitely tend to, step up a little bit. I don't think either of these two teams are playing until Sunday as well, which means they get a little bit of an extended break or a little extra day off. You don't have to worry about the back-to-back aspect of it, which I've been looking at more and more. At this time of year, if a team's on the back-to-back the next day, don't play their star players. Like, you know what I mean? Just try to ignore that. But yeah, definitely like the spot. I think that should be a good game. I can't trust the Suns. Like, I could never bet on those guys until maybe like a week before the playoffs. Like, I need to see like so much change for me to actually bet that team in terms of like the spread. Still you can obviously bet props here and there, but I don't trust those guys at all. So we'll see what happens. My prediction though, Nuggets by like 25. I think they cook them.
Yeah, I definitely get it with them being in Denver as well. Doesn't help me much, but yeah, dude, I'm betting Durant. That's going to be my play on here. I'll talk about that in a little bit as we move forward. So you want me to do my college one first or last? What do you want?
You can
go. You want me to get it out the way?
Why not?
All right, let's just get it out the way. I'm going to be rolling with my boys. I'm going back to the Toledo Rockets. They're playing against Ohio tonight in a huge game, actually. Like, I don't know if not many of you guys are betting the MAC. I don't blame you unless you're in the weeds with your boy here. I'm kind of betting on some of these lower level teams because what's kind of been crazy is usually Toledo's been that team at the top of this conference that kind of fell off a little bit this year. Their defense is absolutely horrendous. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have been horrendous. This defense is bottom 50 in college basketball. It's absolutely awful. But this is going to be one of those games that just screams pace to me. Both teams need to win. They're both like 6 games out, right? And there's this fighting for seeding for the tournament. This is the last game. So if Toledo wins, they're going to go ahead of Ohio. If Ohio wins, they're ahead of Toledo, right? This is actually an important game, which is something that not a lot of these games are at this point in the season. First game of the year, our first game that these guys played each other, 86-83. Toledo actually beat Ohio in Ohio. But when I look at these numbers for these teams, both of them very, very good first half teams. Ohio's top 50 in first half scoring, 38 a game. Going over the Toledo side, top 100, they're scoring 36 a game. My biggest issue is, as I just told you, this defense is awful. Ohio is just playing super, super quick this year, which they actually had a guy from my conference when I was growing up in high school, and he was there for a little while. Now they actually speed it up, right? Toledo allows 38 points in the first half per game. That's why I always bet the Toledo first half overs, because these guys just can't stop anybody. Ohio on the road, 37.5 points per game in the first half allowed. There's just who's slowing down who. Like, I just don't see either one of these teams slowing down each other. Love Toledo's free throw shooters. I talk about that all the time. If you want me to put this in perspective on how bad Toledo's defense is, I believe there's 359 teams in college basketball. They are 354th in adjusted defense. That's bad. And usually the guys that are that low are pretty fast, but they're 129 in pace. So it's pretty brutal. Ohio top 50 in pace, going to make these guys run with them. This just screams the first half over to me. The second half, kind of I could see it slowing down a little bit. Understand that it could happen just because it's actually an important game. But this first half, just like I feel like it's going to be wide open. Each team's going to want to kind of implement what they want to do. Ohio should have no issue scoring. And obviously Toledo at home shoot so much better. A lot of senior-led guys here on this Toledo team as well. So sign me up, Sonny Wilson, all these boys. I think they're going to come out firing at home and putting up some numbers. So I'm going to play the first half over. mainstay on my card usually. And, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Toledo. And this year even more because their defense is probably the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, aren't they the Rockets? Am I mistaken? They're the Rockets.
Toledo Rockets.
It's kind of a match made in heaven, right? When you're named the Rockets and you get a team that's all pace, like you said, no defense. It's one of the few teams I do know because I bet on them, Taylor and you over this last year or so. So shout out Toledo. They've really only done me good in the past. So I'll definitely be joining you. And I like obviously the analysis about, who's slow and who down. I think that's kind of a key component right there. So I'm locked in. Let's go.
Yeah, dude, it's these are fun games. This is a 6:00 game. Definitely grab it. I feel like this is a lot of the other MAC games don't mean anything, so that's what makes these, motivation games kind of tough, right? So it's just like just be smart if you're gonna bet a lot of these other games. I'm probably gonna have a pretty small card tomorrow unless it's in the conference tournaments, because a lot of them don't matter, right? Obviously you got Duke, North Carolina that matters, like they care about that just because it's rivalry. But a lot of these games, like teams already clinched, like Michigan State just clinched the 1 seed. Now you got to see like the Badgers need to win to get, hopefully that first round bye in their tournament, but that's it, right? There's not much else they're playing for. So just make sure you guys are kind of paying attention to that before, just kind of betting these spots. So that'll be my first one. And I'll kick it over to you to start us off here for our other plays.
Yeah, we're going a little bit juicy here. Minus 145 and minus 150. It's on DraftKings. What's the other two? 365 and ESPN. Those are the three it's on right now. And that's because, once again, I think Joe Val is really mispriced in the 12 points. I played his 15. I still like the Joe Val ladder, but in terms of like pure value, it's exactly what I talked about last show of 12.5 or 12 points even right now is minus 380. And I have that number for over minus 500. So I think they're just mispricing the alts even more than his standard lines. We already talked about it, but Joe Val is a guy that when he's playing 25 minutes a game, he's a fantastic per minute producer. And there's really no reason to be scared here. Their only backup is Trey Lyles, who I'll actually be betting on Trey Lyles as well, probably. In terms of rebounds as a backup big, I think he'll be a solid bench piece right there, but they just don't have the depth right now. They don't at all. And honestly, the Spurs have been a solid paint matchup all year long with Wemby, who is obviously the odds-on favorite to be Defensive Player of the Year. Since he's went down, they're one of the best paint matchups in the league, 5th most points in the paint allowed. That's going to be where almost all of Joe Val's points come from. Bismack Biyombo is going to be the guy guarding him. I don't think anyone in the world is scared of that matchup truly at this point. It's just going to be easy, like rim buckets, putbacks, and just simple like points in the paint. I think Joe Val has another like solid 16-point game. And as long as he's playing 25 plus minutes, I got no problem. So I love Joe Val. I think this is a great spot for him. Like I said, I like the base points. I'll be playing a little bit of that as well. But for me, I was looking for a parlay piece to get those odds down a little bit. I do like the Grizzlies' first half money line. They're the 4th best first half money line team in the NBA. I know a lot of people like them at home more than they do on the road. The stats don't bear out a crazy difference. I think that's more of a huge narrative thing than anything, just because they do have a good home crowd, obviously. But still, at the end of the day, they're a very solid they're a way better team. And I want some exposure to them in this matchup, because when you look right now, the Mavericks, if the questionables don't play, they have 7 active players. That's not even enough to field a team. They're going to have to call up somebody from the G League. Like, this team is pathetic right now. There's no other way to say it. It's not like Anthony Davis is going to miraculously ship back in and save them in this game. Like, the Grizzlies, I honestly don't even think Ja will play. So theoretically, this line could be better. I think right now it's kind of baked in a middle ground, because I was even looking at your guy Desmond Bane again for some props. I know you bet on him, and then Ja was later ruled out in that Hawks game. I think we could see a similar thing, just because they asked Ja after the game how his shoulder was, and he said he probably shouldn't have played, but now he's not even on the injury report. So who knows what's going to happen. I think if Ja plays, you get a benefit right there, but I just think they're going to destroy Dallas. I think the market hasn't quite caught up to how terrible Dallas is. And yeah, I'm going to take the Grizzlies. They're one of the better first half scoring teams in general. I think they get out to a good start, and I think Dallas is just going to be screwed. Once this game, maybe the first quarter stays close, once it gets to the second quarter and you have these like creative players out there playing against one of the best second units in the league, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a tricky mismatch right there. So I actually have never bet a second quarter money line. I might have to look at what that is for this game. But yeah, I just think the Grizzlies take care of business, and I want to get a little bit of exposure there. And I think, as long as this prop like combo's under -160, I think you're getting some good value. So I love Joe Val again, and I think the Grizzlies will just take care of business against Dallas.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, definitely tough time fading the Grizzlies in this spot. It's tough because I believe the Mavericks are still in the playoffs as of right now, right? And that's why I said, like, I mean, if you're Phoenix, I'm talking about Durant right now. I'm going to be playing Durant points, assists over 25 or over 29.5. You got to see that, man, right? I mean, I think the Mavericks are the last seed in right now. I just looked at the updated playoff schedule as of right now. The Mavericks will be playing the Kings in that 10-9 spot. Both those teams fighting with pretty big injuries right now. This is your time to move, right? This is your time to move, Phoenix. If you're going to try and do it, this would be the time to do it, especially when you got no Sabonis. I don't know if Monk's playing tonight. You got obviously no Luka or Kyrie or AD. Just crazy, right? Everybody's kind of out in this spot. But what I like is when KD has to, dude turns up, right? When he plays against these big dudes, he goes crazy. We looked at these last two games, right, against playoff caliber teams in the Clippers and Minnesota. 39.5 minutes in regulation in those two games. This dude is not coming off the floor. Like I said, this is the leader of your team, man. And when we're at this point where we have, 36-year-old Kevin Durant playing 40 minutes a night, right? Shout out Kevin Durant being able to do it. But 34, 7, and 4 against, the Clippers, good defense there. You go over to Minnesota, another good defense. He goes for 26 and 4 assists in that spot. I think he's going to have the ball in his hand quite a bit here. Obviously, if Aaron Gordon and they send maybe a double at him, we've seen him obviously push up those assist numbers as well. I believe over his last 10 games, 8.2 potential assists per game in those spots. Can guys knock down shots? When you have to turn up in a game like this against Denver, I definitely want to kind of be on that side, especially when it can't really go through anybody else, right? I mean, you look at the rest of this team, it's Tyus Jones, he ain't shooting the ball. He's like an Emhart, bro. They ain't shooting the damn ball. Go on that side. Beal, I mean, he's been so hit or miss for me lately. I can't really rely on him. Okay, it's him and Booker then, right? It's pretty much him and Booker. And Nick Richards is just getting those pick and roll spots down in the paint or just offensive rebounds. So love Durant tonight, dude. I think he scored. I could see him scoring 30 points and just hitting this on points. So to have even the option to stay under 30 and get a spot here with Kevin Durant, dude, I can't pass him up in a spot like this. I know it could be a blowout, but I think that this is a game where you got to, this is where you put your nuts on the line, man. Go all out and let's go. Another 40-minute night. And you said, again, they don't have a back-to-back game tomorrow either, so that's huge. I think this is a big spot for them.
Yep. And yeah, you nailed it. Obviously, the minutes there are pretty elite for his age. I mean, he gets so much shit and stuff, but it's insane. And honestly, if I were in his shoes, I would not be doing the same thing unless the rest of the team, showed a little bit of something. And hopefully they do here. Like you said, it's obviously not like the season's over or anything like that, but it's one of those things where I think people have been saying since the All-Star break, like, this is the game, and it just hasn't been. So as a team, not for Kevin Durant specifically, but just like, when are these guys going to get their shit together? So I'm a fan of betting on KD pretty much whenever. Obviously, I think that the mid-range is going to be there for him all day in this matchup. And that's where he's, one of the most dominant scorers of all time. So I like Kevin Durant. I really don't see too many negatives besides, like you said, blowout. And it's kind of, I think, we're willing to take that risk in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get that full third quarter run, right? He's going to get it all the way through there, probably play the beginning of the fourth, even if it is a 25, 30-point game. Maybe we missed those last 6 minutes, but still 34 minutes. I think it's kind of baked into this line, though, too, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's kind of baked in that could definitely be an option for a blowout here. As we head into play number 4, Stu rolling with a steals line. What else will we be seeing here
I know. And I'm telling you, this one's on offshore right now. It's up to like minus 130 on FanDuel. Like people have been hitting this, which I kind of didn't expect. I thought we had a nice little sleeper. So I would play it up to minus 130, minus 140. I still would 100%. If you do have like offshores, I'd recommend, going to like Bet Online, Bovada right now if you can. But yeah, I like Alex Caruso steals a lot. I mean, this is one that I immediately saw, and there was no doubt in my mind I was betting this because Alex Caruso, he's been kind of limited into a real role player role. And I mean, it's warranted, right? When you're on a team with SGA, these Williams, like all these studs, and even the bench now is so good. Cason Wallace, a direct competitor to him off the bench, another fantastic defender that can also score a little bit more, is taking away his minutes. A guy like Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, all these good guards are taken away from Caruso's minutes, but they wrote out the whole starting lineup. So now we're talking about a totally different team. And for me, there is one thing. I literally don't care about anything. With Alex Caruso, there is one thing I need to see to make this bet, and is he going to play 25 minutes? The answer is yes, I'm making the bet. The matchup doesn't matter. It's a good matchup. A young Portland team that has Scoot, who's going to turn the ball over like 6 times in his 4 minutes, is like fantastic. So I would play this in the worst matchup possible, just to be clear. If I was confident Alex Caruso is going to get 25 minutes, he is the best player in the league in terms of screen navigation, getting around screens. He is so ungodly pesky as a defender, as an on-ball defender. When he was playing like a full-time role with the Bulls, he led the league in back-to-back years in like deflections created, which isn't just the steal alone, but like, are you creating like mayhem? Are you getting your hand on the ball? Are you forcing deflections? And obviously forcing deflections is the closest thing of like a potential assist to an assist prop. You know what I mean? It's showing like the real action. And it wasn't even close. Like he was dominating the rest of the league. The only guy one time, if you watch the show, you remember my boy Delon Wright did, playing a very small amount of minutes, like 18, get close in deflections per minute. Just from an efficiency standpoint. But Caruso was doing this in like a full-time 24, 25-minute role, which is what I'm expecting tonight. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe are both in the starting lineup. Cason Wallace is out, which is going to mean he has no guard competition whatsoever. He is truly going to have as much opportunity as possible right here. And in a matchup like this against Portland, I'm going to take it 10 out of 10 times. Like I know Caruso is that good on defense, and it's about opportunity. And he's a great role player. I think he's a guy you'll feel his presence more in the playoffs than you will in the regular season. But like, yeah, if we're going to get 25 minutes of Caruso right here, and I mean, I bet this bench in blowouts, guys, it's really bad. The Thunder draft only 18-year-olds from Europe that can't shoot. I don't know if anyone's paying. Like, they're developing these guys for the long run. Dieng is not going to come in and do anything. The only like veteran they have is like Kenrich Williams, who isn't even a guard. He's like a power forward off the bench. Like they don't have anything in terms of depth, like anything at all. In terms of people that you can actually depend to do anything. So I think it's going to be a very high usage starting lineup, and I'm a big fan of Alex Caruso on the defensive side of the ball. Anytime I can get him in a heavy minutes role, I'm going to take advantage. So firing up Alex Caruso steals. I see Capper Taylor said minus 130 on 365. I'd play it there as well. Maybe risk one unit if you want to, take your risk down a little bit. But I love Alex Caruso, big fan.
Yeah, it's tough to pass up when you know that's literally what he's out there to do. He's not out there to shoot. He's not out there to do much else. Just kind of
he can like
guy, dude. And dude, it's gonna be. I've watched so much Anthony Simons. I've watched so much Denny, and all I know is Scoot Henderson puts his head down and fucking falls over like 3 times a game. So he's got to hope he's guarding him on those. Those are just free fucking steals. He doesn't even have to do anything, even though he is an elite defender. He doesn't even really have to do anything, and Scoot will turn it over himself. There we got. Let's get through a quick recap here, Stu. I look like we got a question in the chat about a guy we were kind of talking about a little bit before the show. We'll get to that. So I'll let you get through a quick recap, and we'll get to those.
Sounds good. We got Jonas Valanciunas, 12 plus points. Grizzlies first half money line, minus 145. DraftKings, ESPN, 365. I'd play it to like minus 155, minus 160. Then we got Alex Caruso, over 1.5 steals, minus 112. Like I said, minus 145 is kind of that range that I play it to.
Beautiful. I'll be on Toledo first half over 76.5, as well as Kevin Durant over 29.5 points plus assists. Stu, your boy, you talked about him a little bit before. Any thoughts here on the PRA line in a matchup with the Kings?
Yeah, I almost played Castle on the show in terms of like a parlay piece. I do like PRA. There's just enough negatives in terms of one. I mean, Fox could go absolutely insane and really hurt your guard volume, even with Keon Ellis there. Keon Ellis is a good defender. But still, I mean, like there's the Spurs. I need like 3 more injuries to happen. No offense, I want these guys to be healthy, but like you got still a lot of guys that can be involved and take away usage from multiple positions. Vassell, Johnson. If any of these guys get hot, like it takes away your overall volume. The thing I do like is it seems like there's been a coaching shift, which should have been obvious, like a while ago. Which is like you guys are screwed. We're not making the playoffs. Like, how about we let the young guys just take over and play more? Like, why is Chris Paul even playing? Why is even De'Aaron Fox playing? So I do think from a mindset perspective, they're doing a lot better at getting Castle involved in more facets of the game. But like, do I even trust his passing? I looked at assists. I don't really trust his passing. Rebounding, that can go 18 different directions. He's not a bad rebounder, but kind of hard to nail down. So a lot of it just comes down to points for me. And I have him in that like 15, 16 point range once again. But it's also then again, like I like Castle. I wanted Washington to draft him. I've been a big fan. I kind of always believed the 3-point shot would come, but he's still a raw player. He's still a young guy, and shooting 7 threes a game, 5 threes a game, I still don't think he hits more than 2 or 3. You know what I mean? He's still not like a great outside shooter. So that was kind of my whole thought process. I just kind of laid it out for you. Like I like Castle. There's a lot of good reasons to, but I think there's enough things you can nitpick, especially in a game where a lot of people are expecting Fox to like go crazy, that I can just stay away probably. But I do like Castle. I could see myself getting a little bit of points in there for sure.
Yeah, it's tough because like we talk about defensive matchups, right? A lot. I talk a lot about like Aaron Gordon and it's like some of these like elite defensive players. The thing is I don't think the Spurs have enough other options for Fox to really give a shit. Like when I'm talking about like Aaron Gordon, I think which one was the last matchup I was talking about? I don't remember who I was talking about for
Denny. I remember that one a little
bit.
bit.
But like if you go to Denny, they have like 3 or 4 other capable scorers that have no issue not passing the ball to Denny.
Yeah.
Right. Fox is going to bring the ball up, and if he wants, he's going to put it up. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it a little bit tougher when you have good guard matchups because, dude, they don't have to pass. They can just they can just make anything happen themselves. They don't have to. They're not obligated to do anything else. Like if you do it through a big, right? If you have a really good big matchup, like you could just not throw him the ball. With Fox, he's coming up with the ball, and it's probably going up because Chris Paul shoots 3 times a game. So, yeah, definitely.
He knows the team well. Like if he's going to know a high-level defender well, it's going to be a guy that was guarding him in practice all the time, like Keon Ellis. And once again, he knows his team well. Okay, Bismack, come up, set the screen. Let's run the same. Set him up a free mid-range shot every possession. If you really don't want to deal with Ellis, you can. I mean, he's good at street navigation, but if Fox is smart enough and he's motivated to score, screen, like we can keep spamming that all day long and just set up those easy mid-range shots that he's pretty comfortable taking. So definitely agree with the logic right there. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I like them both. I like them both tonight.
All right, Stu. Yeah, any long shots? I got to give my shout out first quick here to my boys from Drake. Cashing my first bet of the day. And nothing better than cashing before noon, bro. Nothing better than that. We got a first half under, ended up cashing in on the first one. Feeling good headed into the second half. What do you got here for a long shot, Stu? You got anything? I know it's tough because there's a lot of injury, questionable tags. NBA got an NBA, bro, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to. There's one thing I'm curious that I'm checking right now. It's Aaron Wiggins to lead that game in points. I'm curious if that line is even up yet. If you haven't seen, Aaron Wiggins is lined at 21.5 points for this game. And I actually do like the over because once again, I bet on this team in garbage time, like live betting, which is very stressful because you're trying to like get down a lot of money really quickly. And like looking at that bench, you're like, oh my God, Osman Dieng is the next guy up. And like his live points is 2.5 with 10 minutes to go. And he probably won't go over. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what we're talking about here. So really Chet is kind of your competition, but Chet's not a high volume guy. He's never been like his cap to me is kind of that 20 point range. Isaiah Joe at 16.5 is aggressive. I'm trying to find if a book even has this up right now.
Better off just taking Isaiah Joe threes, right? I mean,
yeah, I'd much rather take an Isaiah Joe 3-ladder because he could have 5 threes and still end with 15 points. That's the kind of player he is. So like the competition is really like Simon's on the other side. And I mean, they've been a good spot up defense. Like if he's going to have Caruso on him, I feel pretty good about that. So I'm not seeing anything up on DraftKings right now. I can check FanDuel, but if there is nothing up, I will say just keep that in mind. I think Wiggins' top point scorer in that game is definitely a solid way to play it. And honestly, I know it's crazy to say, but I probably will just play some 22 points, like his baseline for it, because I know that's such a high number, but I really could see him taking almost unlimited shots in this game. I just don't see that much competition for him.
Interesting, for sure. Like that look for sure on those. I'm looking right now. Sorry, I'm kind of looking around on if I can find a top scorer, and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I don't see on FanDuel or DraftKings.
But I mean, if you can't find one, you got any UFC long shots here, Stu, or what?
I want to see what that Kuniev guy looks like. I want to see if he's on megaroids still, because he PED tested for like 5 of them against his win over Teixeira, who's the guy that fought Ngannou, for people that followed that PFL thing. So I don't know. Like that one is kind of, in terms of long shot odds, is interesting. I feel like this isn't that great of a long shot card. I like some dogs. I like Gaethje. I mean, at plus 135, plus 140. I mean, that fight feels like a pick'em to me. So if it's a pick'em fight between 2 strikers, I get he might get volumed a little bit. I think that seems to be the concern. But I mean, who's the crowd rooting for? Who maybe might the judges go for to set up that next fight? When I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that one at plus 130, that feels like it should be the main event price, which is like minus 110 on each side. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have too many UFC. I do have a Ruffy winning in some parlays, so I hope you don't say any Bobby Green love, because that could be.
I don't know. I don't want to bet that fight. I think that price is atrocious. I don't think that's a good.
Can I say I think it's more likely, like, because I'm big on Chandler beating Patty when that comes pretty soon. I think it's more likely that Bobby Green like was paid to throw the fight than like that he's going to beat this guy. Because if you watch that, he falls down like without doing anything, falls down and insta-subbed. And he's got 50 fights. He's made not great money for having that much CTE. Patty is one of the bigger stars. I'm just saying it was in his hometown. Like, I don't think Bobby Green's got shit left, is what I'm trying to say. And I see people on Twitter touting him as like, oh, he's got a good chin. Ruffy is going to gas out, which he did kind of gas out last fight, to be fair. But I don't know. I have him to close out some pretty big parlays. So I think Bobby Green's going to get smoked, and I hope so.
Yeah, I think my long shot is going to be my boy Bahamondes this week, round 2 or round 3. I'll probably sprinkle both at plus 6 and plus 1,000. I'll have to. I'm only looking on DraftKings so far, but definitely a spot. I want to fade the fuck out of Jalen Turner after round 1, dude. I'm gonna fade the fuck out of him. It's gonna be such a good fight, but dude, he's a 1-round dude now. It's really what he's turned himself into. And I was watching. I don't remember which fight it was, but the dude struggles with big guys. He usually can just kind of, bully ball them, have like a 3 or 4 inch reach advantage. Bahamondes is the same fucking size, dude.
Yeah.
And he's a savage and can take a punch. Like, that's the thing, is you got to be able to take some damage against Jalen Turner. So I think those would be my long shot spots would be Bahamondes round 2, and then a sprinkle on round 3. I think 3 is like 1,200, 12 to 1. Definitely think that is a very high possibility.
I like that. I saw a quote too of Turner saying like he's been going through it in his personal life, like he's got fighting his demons. When you see quotes like that from UFC, I don't know what the ROI is, but it's normally not good. The last guy I remember specifically was fucking Ortega before his fight, talking about like, oh, I'm giving it all to church. Like, I don't even care. I don't know. Like, when you hear quotes like that you should get a little bit worried, because they're trying to kill the other guy in the cage. And when, it seems like you lost a little bit of that kill, in your mentality, then it does matter. The other one I wanted to bring up, I'm curious. I'm almost 100% going to bet it. But Bruno Ferreira, like first round knockout. This Armin guy fucked me last time because I bet him against Shara. And now
dude.
On not short notice, but he didn't rest that long after getting spinning back fist KO'd, and now he's coming back against a guy that's only going to try to kill you, pretty much. Like he's going to try to first round fucking kill you. So for me, that seemed like kind of like not obvious, but I don't know. I'm going to bet that definitely.
Yeah, I can't. I like Armin too much. I've made too much money off him in the past. He's been really good to me as a dog. I haven't really bet him that much as a favorite. Bruno Ferreira is literally, I mean, if you take round one and don't touch anything else because the dude sucks after round one. So
yeah,
I just have a, I mean, it's tough because you're still getting him as a favorite, and he came off of a crazy spinning back fist and then getting arm triangled by probably the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world. So I think we're getting a buy low price on him, to be honest. I would probably take Petrosian money line. I think it's like minus 130. But I'm not betting no freaking Bruno outside of a first round KO. Like it's really all you can do.
So after, if he survives the first round, then I'll take Armin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Live, but yeah, pre-flop.
I just got other shit to do. Like I can't just sit there. I'm not gonna be able to sit and watch this for 6 hours. I'm not gonna be able to live bet as much as like a normal card. So I'm gonna be around. So I'm not gonna have much live betting during this stuff. So I have to do everything pre-flop. I'm gonna be at like a thing with clients on Saturday. So luckily I'll be able to watch the pay-per-view portion, but yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do any live betting, unfortunately.
That's fair. You can't degen out on the fucking.
Yeah, I'm not degenning while I'm with people that are. Yeah, no, that's probably a no there.
No, that's fair. You can't. You don't want to be like loudly celebrating like Carlos Leal third round KO in front of people that are like, "What the fuck is that?"
So, they don't know anything about UFC.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for this card. It should be a good one. I definitely. Oh, then one more thing before we get out, main event pick. Who you got? Pereira, Ankalaev. Who's winning?
I mean, I don't know how I can't take Ankalaev, bro. I can't take him.
I've been saying that for a while, and I think I might still. He's so dumb. I truly hate watching the guy fight. It would suck so bad if he was.
I think Dana will, if it's close, Dana's telling him not to put him on fucking belt, bro. He's got to distinctly beat him or finish him, bro. But it's literally going to be terrible for the brand, bro.
It's the logic I have in every fight like this where I'm going to bet on Ankalaev and root for the other guy because it works against the Russians. It's worked very well. Although Islam has gotten more fun over time, but like I remember Poirier, I was rooting for Poirier, had to put the money on Islam. It's like one of those things where you put the money on the guy that you don't want to win, but you kind of in your heart kind of think he's going to win, and then I can just root for Pereira and maybe even try to get Pereira KO in some parlays so that if that goes, then, could win either way. But man, I would hate if Pereira lost this one. But I think that's kind of helping the line. I don't think anyone wants Ankalaev's boring ass to win this belt. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, he could hold him down for 3 minutes. Pereira hits him twice. And Pereira wins the round. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I could see this definitely going. But yeah, I think we got some stuff out for you guys. Hopefully you are with us, ready to cash in on a couple of these with us. We got our 4 bets. If you want to see those, we did a recap about 5 minutes ago. Stu, anything else for the people before we head out?
Nope. I mean, great weekend. Hopefully we cash some tickets, a lot of good sports stuff, and we'll be back on Monday.
Awesome. See you guys Monday. We will be back ready to go. Have a good one, guys, and best of luck this weekend.